All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Keyboard Warriors, presented by CrossBonesMMA. I am your host, Eddie Law. With me today, Aaron Robbins from Stand and Bang MMA, and also from Stand and Bang, Fred Kirby, and Gym City Fighting, of course. Fellas, hope you guys are having a good day today. And let's get right into the very first topic. It actually popped up not too long ago. Anderson Silva blaming dick pills or sexual performance, supplements for his for pissing hot in his last test. He failed quite a few tests, so I mean, it's to me it sounds hilarious. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, no, listen, man, like we was talking about before we went on air, I don't know a whole lot about this shit. I'm not a fucking scientist, but I'm pretty sure the motherfuckers that do the test results know the difference between fucking Viagra and steroids. I mean, maybe it's not that fucking cut and dry, but, like, I don't think you could just blame it on something that, like, fucking vague, right? Like, oh, it was my dick pills. Like, I don't know. Look, yo, Aaron, you're a fucking doctor. All that shit kind of ties together. Is this even remotely fucking mistakable? Like, would you fucking mistake a steroid for fucking Viagra?
I don't think he knows. He's thinking about it.
Okay. We're going to take that as a fucking no. You certainly cannot mistake those two goddamn things. There's no fucking way.
Oh, there he is. I think he froze for a second, man.
Yeah, I know. His fucking computer went back to airplane mode. It's being hilarious. I love it.
All right, so Fred was actually asking, so, if you can mistake dick pills for steroids when you test for it, like when you test for PEDs.
Yeah, I think in his case, PED stands for penis-enhancing drugs.
That's what he's saying, right?
It's impossible, right?
But I'm pretty sure Viagra's was originally a heart medication, and the side effect is that it gave you a raging boner, and they realized it was an ineffective heart medication, but it was great for making your cock hard. So they just changed it around. They're like, this isn't for hearts anymore, it's for your dick. I don't think there's any testosterone or any sort of androgen inside of it. I could be wrong. And this is only Viagra. I don't know about Cialis. I don't know about the other erectile dysfunction medications. But it's been back and forth with Anderson Silva since this all happened. He's like, no, he's normal. I didn't take anything. And then now it's like, oh, well, yeah, I took a little something for my leg to make it heal faster. No, it's normal. And no, it's so my cock get hard. He's normal. You know what? Stop with it. Fucking man, everything under the sun. It's pretty soon. It was like, oh no, it's my sunscreen. It's normal. No, something wasn't normal. Something isn't right. So what the fuck? I'd rather just at this point, man. Does anybody really care? Because he's not gonna come back and fucking take the world by storm. It's already been tainted, no matter what. It's been shown that the guy over at Black House is a fucking juice monkey from hell. I don't think it's gonna make any difference. Nobody's gonna be like, yeah. It was his cock pills. Told you. Anderson just wanted to fuck some young bitches. It was his cock pills. I knew it. I tell you what, if it is his fucking Viagra, he's going to look really weird in those new black and white Reebok shorts. Going to be seeing some mushroom head Anderson Silva.
It is the stupidest thing ever. Listen, as far as Anderson Silva goes, he should just chalk it up to the leg break. I don't think anybody really ever suspected Anderson Silva of taking steroids. Look at the fucking guy. His leg broke like a fucking limp noodle, Jack. I mean, obviously, it ain't like he was all jacked up out of his mind. I think the dude was taking steroids to heal his broken-ass leg faster. If I'm Anderson, I say that. Yeah, fuck it. I had all kinds of money. I went down to Brazil. I wanted to compete fast again. So I took some fucking steroids to make my fucking broken-ass leg heal faster. I didn't want no competitive edge. I've never needed that. The dick pills thing is fucking silly and ridiculous. Like I said, I'm not a fucking scientist, but I'm pretty sure they can tell the difference. That's fucking stupid.
You think that maybe it's so stupid it might actually work for him?
No. It fucking better not. I mean, no.
Really, I mean, to me it seems like he's like, man, fuck it. Hey, let's just fucking tell him with dick pills, see what fucking happens. There's no way I get in trouble for this at all. Like, I want to hear what Nick Diaz is going to say about his shit. Right? He gonna be, yeah, I got them dick pills too. You know what I'm saying? Like, Stockton pills.
It's ridiculous. I'm surprised he didn't have Donald Trump announce this shit. Like, that's how fucking stupid this is. Donald Trump should have came out and said it. Like, yeah, Anderson Silva with penis pills.
Oh shit! All right. Okay. I'm just looking around the article that was written from another news source. They actually have the entire affidavit on here. What the fuck? Never mind. In case you don't know, August 13th, is in a couple days, is Anderson Silva and Nick Diaz hearing with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. I don't know if UFC Fight Pass is going to have it. They've kind of failed miserably every time they've had something like that. So yeah, I don't know. They might not even have it. All right, moving on here. Let's talk about the card this last weekend over in Nashville. Glover Teixeira, we rear naked choked OSP, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, he's saying he's back. He thinks he can make another title run after his win over OSP. He even went on to say, quote, Cormier, I told you before, I'm coming for you, baby. Does a win over OSP give Glover contender status, Aaron?
No. No, are you kidding me? It was like I said, I don't know, was it last week? OSP for me is a gigantic Neil Magny. He's just one of those guys that's waiting to get exposed. What did he gas out at about 3 minutes into the first round? If he doesn't hit you with something amazing right away, he's in the same land as Anthony Johnson, but far, far less powerful, and in my opinion, far less skilled. OSP has been lucky up to this point, and he was riding the Shogun win, which was up until that. What was his last most impressive win? Cummins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't put those two wins even where close together. You beat the real Durkin, and then you beat Shogun, and all of a sudden you're a competitor? No, that isn't how it works. So absolutely not. Glover Teixeira is a top 5 competitor because of what he did before the Johnny Bones Jones fight. Now, he didn't come anywhere near beating John Jones, but he did take him all 5 rounds, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So when you fight arguably the best man that's ever fought at 205 pounds and you take him all 5 rounds, you stay a legitimate competitor. Do I think he has a chance against Daniel Cormier? Unfortunately, no. But do I think that Daniel Cormier...
Oh, man.
I think I put another hilarious fucking airplane mode stunt.
I really want to, I really wish I could, screen cap his face right there. That's an unfortunate freeze right there.
It is kind of hilarious. That sucks.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah.
OSP, you're a bum.
Yeah.
Right.
No, so here's the thing. You know what, man? Glover Teixeira and OSP. First off, are you back, Aaron? Are you back out of airplane mode?
Yeah. Hey, does anybody out in fucking internet land know why my goddamn computer keeps going to fucking airplane mode?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. But, no, okay, so listen. The thing with Glover and OSP, let me first off gloat a little and say, I was right. I picked Glover to win this fight. Now, let me follow that up by saying, everybody else should just stop listening to fucking me about anything because I was completely wrong about how that fight played out. I thought that OSP would end up shooting on Glover, and I thought that Glover would get the better of the boxing exchanges. That happened to not be the story of this fight at all. Glover got the takedown easily on OSP, surprisingly so. And quite frankly, as much as it pains me to admit it, OSP's awkward, funny-ass style was really effective against Teixeira on the feet. He was hurting Teixeira badly on the feet with his weird, fucking funny Matt Mitrione-esque striking. But, he gave up the takedowns easy as fuck, and then Glover just dominated him on the ground. So, I was right about Glover winning, but I got to say, the way the fight played out, I was completely surprised. I did not expect... I thought that Glover might have a BJJ advantage, but I didn't think he would just take OSP down at will like that.
Especially now with OSP claiming to be a wrestler, a good one, too. I mean, you should be able to stop takedowns from Glover Teixeira. You know what I mean? Right. It was weird.
That was, I was totally surprised about that. Now, once Glover got him on the ground, I knew he'd be able to work him. but he was just shooting fucking singles and fucking he was just fucking all over the takedowns, and OSP had no answer. Like, his takedown defense was shite in that fight. If he would have had a smidgen of takedown defense, he probably would have knocked his air out, because he was landing hard and often on the feet.
No, for sure. Now let's talk about the other fight that was actually the co-main event. Beneil Dariush winning a very controversial split decision win over Michael Johnson, which basically nobody agreed with. And in fact, watching the video, you can see that Dariush was very surprised to hear his name called. When they raised his hand, Michael just walks away, pissed off, and Dariush's eyes go like, "Wait, me, really?" So Aaron, this is just shows once again like the state of judging in MMA is just complete dog shit. What do you think of the decision, and is there anything we can do at all to fix this whole judging debacle? Once you come out of airplane mode, buddy.
Now it just doesn't want to fucking stay connected to the internet. I have no fucking idea. I'm about to send this cunt back to HP. They can have it back.
It's not a bad idea.
Did you ask me a fucking question?
Yeah. Beneil Dariush, how bad was that decision? Yeah. Mike Johnson? No.
Live internet shows, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happens when you have to do that shit. But what do you think, Fred? What do you think of that whole shit?
It fucking sucked, obviously, right? Like, we actually, me and Aaron was talking about this before we was going live tonight. That Diego Ross Pearson and Jorge and fuck you, Iaquinta, those three fights over the last, whatever it is, year or two or whatever, have just been absolutely fucking ridiculous. Okay, he's on the phone, right?
Yeah, I'm on the phone. Now can you fuckers hear me and see me?
Yeah. Crystal clear.
Great. All right, yeah. Beneil Dariush, fuck you. You should have admitted you lost that fight, you prick.
He should have, but I mean, that just fucking, look, it puts a spotlight on MMA judging as a whole. It's been pretty terrible overall. This one kind of took cake over most of the shitty decisions. But is there anything that you could think of that could fix this shit?
No. This off air earlier. What the hell you do? Have like a grand poobah of decisions, and if the judges just completely fuck the dog, you look to one guy? Well, you know that guy's going to be corrupt as fuck pretty soon. So, I don't know. I guess the best thing that you can do is have a fighter like Beneil Dariush admit it. Have Ally Iaquinta admit it. You know if you lost a fight. That wasn't a close fight. That was a fucking blowout. And then you got the guys on Twitter, oh, well, Michael Johnson let off the gas after the first round. Yeah, but Beneil Dariush didn't put on the gas, so it don't matter if Michael Johnson didn't perform as well as in the first round. You're still smacking him around like a little kid. Beneil Dariush had 1.5 minutes of that fight.
Definitely.
Okay. I tell you what, I've been thinking about this. Now, obviously, this isn't going to happen because they're not going to pay the money, but here's what we do. First off, these fucking judges need to be held accountable for their bullshit. Mm-hmm. And when some shit like this happens, somebody, much like the police in this country right now, somebody needs to be able to hold these fuckers accountable when they get off the fucking leash. I think there should be a group of 5 cocksuckers. 5 of them. And when some bullshit like this happens, the 2 judges in question that made terrible decisions, those 5 fuckers vote on giving that motherfucker a strike. And when they get 3 strikes, that judge is out. For fucking good. You can't judge no fight nowhere ever again because it's big prize money, man. These are people's fucking lives at stake. It's not a joke. It's not a game of badminton. There's a lot of money and a lot of prestige that goes into this shit. If somebody makes a hideous decision like that, we all know what time it is. Everybody knows Michael Johnson won that fight. But what the fuck, man? The rule books, fucking the records say that Beneil won. And that fucking sucks for fucking Michael Johnson. He's flat getting shafted. There should be somebody you can turn to. Now, I realize that'll never happen. That's 5 new jobs you'd have to create and blah, blah, blah. But you need some kind of governing body that will punish a judge And after you make a couple really, really fucked up decisions, hey, man, what's that old saying? The world needs bartenders, too.
Yeah, there you go. But look, we've seen plenty of other shitty decisions and shit, and it's like 1 week it's the fucking refs, the next week it's the fucking judges. It's the whole thing's fucked up. They need to fix it somehow. But let's talk about your boy Sam Alvey, Fred, getting TKO'd against Derek Brunson. But was it an early stoppage? Do you think it was an early stoppage? It looked like Sam Alvey was getting up, about to do something, but he was getting tagged, right?
Yeah, man, I don't know. If it was an early stoppage, it was a tiny bit early, and it's one of those scenarios where it's the first round. Derek Brunson was fresh as a motherfucker. If they don't stop it right that second, he probably lands a couple more bombs and puts Sam Alvey out after that. It ain't like, you know what I mean? If they were in the third round and both of them were kind of tired, I would have gave Sam the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he could have wrestled his way to his feet, but I give it to Derek Brunson. He was fucking shot out of a cannon for that fight, and, you know, chances are he just lands a couple more. So maybe a cunt hair too early, but I don't think it mattered whatsoever. Which, for the record, I will say I thought Derek Brunson don't need to be getting too fucking cute. I thought he looked sloppy as shit. He was aggressive as fucking. He should be commended for that, but he still was pretty sloppy with his shit. So
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about that, Aaron?
Yeah, the fight looked like shit, but he had a good plan. He just straight blitzed Sam.
true.
Everybody else that has gotten starched by Sam has fought him at range, and I think they just figured that out. That Sam's going to hit you with something, then he hits real hard. So just keep him on his heels and knock him back. But still, it looked terrible, and he got a win over Sam Alvey. Funny thing is no matter how many people Sam Alvey knocks out, it's not going to be impressive to most people. I don't think a lot of people just take him seriously. So Derek Brunson knocked him out. Was it an early stoppage? Maybe. But had they not stopped it, just like Fred said, he was just going to keep tagging him until it was a good stoppage. So I think most Sam Alvey fans were like, yeah, it was an early stoppage. But really, it was a smart stoppage. Sam wasn't going to get anything done that night. So I guess it's just back to the drawing board and figure out how to handle a high-pressure fighter. Definitely.
Andrew Reed tweeting in saying the Alvey stoppage wasn't early, so he definitely agrees with you on that one. All right, moving on here. We actually had one female fight in the card, Manny Nunes and McMahon. Nunes choking out McMahon after rocking her pretty hard. Does this make Nunes the next fight at 135 after Tate? Because basically we pretty much know Raz is gonna destroy Tate. Do you think Nunes should get a title shot, Fred?
No, I want to see Nunes fight fucking Holly Holm, since I'm not going to get my goddamn wish of seeing her fight fucking silly-ass Cupcake Tate. We're going to get this fucking trilogy shoved in our ass, so we might as well just use a little lube and get used to it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm lubing it up good and wet so that I can just get used for this fucking. But I tell you what, I was super impressed with her. And I think that her and Holly Holm make a really fun fight, and I think if Holly Holm can handle a pressure striker like Nunes, then she's ready. Whoever wins that fight will be a legit striker for Ronda to fight. And quite frankly, I think whoever wins that fight, if they line it up, is a more dangerous striking option for Ronda than Cyborg. Oh, you betcha she is, because quite frankly, Cyborg's record is padded with fucking shit birds. Yep. At least Holly Holm fighting Nunes, them are two beasts, dog. So whoever comes out of that one on top, they deserve their fucking stature, man. Like Cyborg, you talk about fucking crushing cans. Mm-hmm. Come on, man.
I thought she has it on her record, just cans left and right. Ronda's only challenge for her, and vice versa. That's what they're saying anyway. But Aaron, do you think Nunes could actually? Let's say they do give her the Rousey fight after Tate. How well do you think she does against Ronda?
Probably about as good as everybody else has.
Pretty much. I mean, you're not wrong. It's absolutely, she's destroyed everybody else.
Here's my thing. What's happening now is all of Ronda's competition is getting exposed for how bad they are. That was a rookie mistake that McMahon made against Nunes. I think that her being down at American Top Team, obviously there's some great talent coming out of there. I think that's a rush to judgment to put Nunes against Ronda Rousey. I like Fred's idea of Holly Holm versus Nunes, and then at least we do get one legit striker But until people figure out that they're going to have to deal, your only goal as a female 135-pound fighter is to figure out Ronda Rousey.
Mm-hmm.
So until you bring in somebody who is as vicious as her and you figure out that specific style, we're just going to see Ronda keep ripping through people one after another after another. They need to quit training to be better fighters and start training to beat Ronda Rousey.
Yo, English just brought up a good point, though. He says fucking, you know, an Olympic silver medalist wrestler couldn't take Nunes down. That is interesting. That is interesting, man. I mean, and if she fucking knocks out Holly Holm, all of a sudden, you could have a very interesting fight for fucking Ronda Rousey. I'm enjoying that. What was the, what's the fucking chick's name at flyweight, the Brazilian beast that's probably going to get the title shot next?
Claudia Gadelha.
There you go.
There you go. She reminds me a lot of Nunes, man. Fucking aggressive Brazilian female striker. Like, these girls make these divisions fun, and they make the champs fucking actually have somebody kind of dangerous to fucking fight. It's cool.
No, definitely. And so, yeah, I mean, I like the idea of Holm against Nunes. It just depends, man. Are we actually going to get Tate? I mean, are we going to get Tate? Or are we going to get the Cyborg fight everyone's talking about? We'll talk about that in just a minute after we get through with UFC Nashville. But there's one more fight I want to talk about because for some reason it bothers me that people still think Uriah Hall has hype. Now, he looked pretty good this weekend against the guy making his UFC debut on short notice. Is Uriah Hall a legit, like, could he ever be a legit contender, or does he just look good because he's a bunch of lower-level competition? I mean, look at his wins. His wins, Chris Lieben, you know, older, Thiago Santos, and Ron Stallings. His losses, Kelvin Gastelum, John Howard, and Rafael Natal. Fred, you tired of Uriah Hall?
Well, let me take a brief moment here to say, fuck you, Time Warner Cable. I give you many, many shilling, and yet I have no Fox Sports 2, no? So, I don't see this fight. I don't know. Well, I'll tell you this. Unless Uriah Hall came out and fucking Thunder Hadouken that motherfucker in the 15th row, no. I don't give a flying rat's ass about Uriah Hall. Listen. He starts some fools on The Ultimate Fighter, which everybody knows at this point means, you know, next to nothing, winning those fights to get in the house and to make it on to the fucking finals or whatever. And then he beat Chris Liebman, who, you know, went on to fucking quit his career very shortly thereafter. I see no reason to give Uriah Hall too much hype at this point. He's a good fighter, whatever, but, like, you know, no. I say the hype is, I mean, I love riding the hype train, baby, but Uriah Hall's hype train is out of gas, Jack.
Yeah, Aaron, I mean, look, it's, Uriah Hall did come in with a shitload of hype, but at the same time, he hasn't lived up to any of it, and I don't know. I got nothing else to say about Uriah Hall, man. What do you think of this shit?
No, he beat Uwale Bambose on his debut. Give him the title shot.
Hey, with the way the UFC's working these days, you might as well.
Uriah Hall for president in 2016. Have him go up against Donald Trump. He's awesome. Best fighter in the world.
He does get my vote in that mix.
Yeah. Between those two, I might vote for Uriah Hall.
I would. You might. You better, Eddie. I'm taking away your Mexican card if you don't vote.
Fuck that. I would never vote for Trump. You kidding me? He hates me.
I'm voting for Trump.
Of course you are.
But anyways, no, you're right. I thought it was kind of funny because you got this Uwele Bamboshe from out of nowhere, and then when Uriah starched him, he kind of like mean mugged the camera, like, yeah, look what I did. Like, yeah, you've been in the UFC way too long to be crushing debut cans. Because every time they give you anything above that, you get your ass kicked. So no, I don't see Uriah Hall as a legitimate threat to anybody. And then his after-fight speech with the moment you realize what you were made for, and just pack that shit in. Just be grateful that you won. Get your $2,500 from Reebok and fuck off.
Glad I missed that.
Yeah, dude, I didn't even get to watch that fight either because once again, just like you did, except with me with the cable company here in Arizona, I don't have Fox Sports 2. I'm not paying to watch goddamn fucking badminton on fucking television. That's dog shit. Not watching that shit. Okay? So anyway, moving on. Let's talk Chris Cyborg. Now she's back at it with more trash talking to get Ronda Rousey to get in the cage with her. This time, not only going to SportsCenter for one of the hardest to watch interviews I've seen in my life, but also a tweet to Ronda Rousey using Ronda's new little saying, do nothing, bitch. She said, I think the tweet said, quote, let me find it here. Here it says, stop being a do-nothing bitch. Let's do this for the fans now. December 12th in parentheses. Not later. Don't worry, it will be your last fight, end quote. First of all, none of her trash talk has made Rousey budge on insisting that Cyborg make 135 to make the fight happen. But the part that bothers me the most isn't even Cyborg talking shit. It's Tito Ortiz coming out and saying that, oh, the UFC already offered Cyborg the fight. She accepted fucking December 12th in Cowboy Stadium. And then Dana White comes out, squashes that shit. And on top of it, shout out to Justin Huffman, squashes the fucking Dallas Stadium show. Because fuck you, buddy. You were talking shit for so fucking long about, oh, it's coming to Dallas, Rousey and fucking McGregor. Well, fuck off, Justin. It's in Vegas. I had to say that. Anyway, Fred, what do you think of this whole Cyborg talking trash shit?
Tell you what, I'm about over talking about it. I tell you that. Look, man, here's the deal with Cyborg, dude. We were just saying it, kind of. She ain't beating nobody that's relevant. She fights in a division that exists in irrelevancy. It only exists in Invicta. You know what I mean? Like, say she gets the Ronda fight and she does beat Ronda. Just say all that happens. Fucking them what? She can't even make that weight. Why the fuck would anybody do that? Why on earth would the UFC let Ronda take that fight? If I'm Dana White, I'd come out and say, you know what? I'm not letting her take that fight. Why the fuck would I? Let her fight an outside shitbird who hasn't earned her keep at all for a belt that said shitbird can't even keep or defend. Like, Ronda's the champ, man. You got to come to the champ. She needs to make the weight. And all this fucking foolishness about her being gonna die if she makes 135, I bet my left fucking testicle, and I love it very, very much. Very much. I bet my left nut that woman can make 135 pounds if she really wanted to. Would she maybe have to lose a little muscle mass? Sure. But she's the one that needs the money fight. Ronda don't need her. We just had a good fight. They will probably, if they got any sense, line up Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes. That gives Ronda a vicious striker after this third cupcake fight. They don't really need Cyborg, man. Nobody except MMA nerds like us, like, Cyborg, do it for the fans. What fans? Legit fans barely know who John Jones are. They don't know who you are, Cyborg. They don't. They're idiots. Like, nobody really is clamoring for this. They're clamoring to see Ronda fight. That's why they tuned in to see her watch fucking Betch Koheta. Nobody knew who the fuck Betch Koheta was with her fucking mouth in that horse face. Nobody cared. They tuned in to see Ronda Rousey, man. She's the star. Cyborg, in the words of the Immortal Rock, Cyborg needs to know her role and shut her mouth.
That might be like the only wrestling term I actually remember. And I'm just fucking with Justin. I feel bad now. I don't know why. They're going off on Justin feels like...
Because you're a pussy.
But he was talking a lot of shit. He was talking a lot of shit, so fuck him.
You're being a pussy. Fuck you, Justin.
Anyway, all right, Aaron, this whole Cyborg thing, and first of all, you know, I'm with Fred. You got to come to the champ. You're not going to talk shit. She comes on and talks shit and says, well, Ronda already cleaned out her division. If you clean out your division, you should move up. You know, look, just like Fred's saying, Ronda doesn't need Cyborg. Cyborg needs Ronda. Cyborg's looking for a payday. Ronda calls that out, says this isn't about fighting, this isn't about the fans, it's not about the weight, it's about the money. Do you think Cyborg will finally shut the fuck up and make holy shit, there's two of them.
Hold on a second. Can you fuckers see me now?
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh shit.
Hold on, let me get rid of this fucking weird shit here. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing some magic voodoo shit, man.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
This is a fun listen for the fans.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the fourth wall has been just demolished at this point. This is what happens when you do live television or live videoing, right? Live YouTube streaming. Shit happens. So when we get Aaron back, we'll finish that one off. Anyway. But
he's gonna say the same thing. It's the same thing, man. We you know.
Oh shit.
Nothing.
Can you hear us?
Holy fuck.
Nothing. You got like 9 boxes on the bottom of the screen. You can't hear this. I can see your ceiling right now.
I think it's
like a black hole. I'm telling you, his fucking computer's going to give us all viruses. Everybody watching this is getting the virus right now.
Don't fucking say that, dude. That's fucked up.
Disgusting phone.
Anyway, yeah, me personally, I'm tired of the fucking Cyborg thing, and I'm really just look, at this point, shut the fuck up, make the weight. And
right.
You're not gonna make the weight, just fucking move on. Go find another tomato can, make a little bit of money in a big thing, shut the fuck up.
Her weight division doesn't exist, man. Like there's no money fight there. She on some real ass shit, real talk. What Cyborg needs to do is make 35 point blank. There is, she's like, let's meet in the middle. For what? There is no 140 division. You know what I'm saying? No, none of that makes sense. If featherweight was a real division for females in the UFC, and Cyborg was like Anderson Silva and Rousey was GSP, then maybe. That's not the case. That division doesn't really exist. There's no other contenders that Cyborg is really building her bones on. Hell, real talk, the only real competition that Cyborg has fought was the fucking one, what's that broad's name? Joanne Bars or whatever, the badass.
Yeah. And that was a Muay Thai fight.
And she fucking lost.
Yeah.
She did very well. And that other broad is a beast.
Oh, she's
but that's where she belongs, and she lost that fight. So, real talk, she's fighting girls that she's way overmatching in MMA and shit. So she has to make 135, or in my book, Cyborg is fucking irrelevant as Tito Ortiz.
And that's a part. Anytime Tito Ortiz says anything, my it just goes in one ear out the other. I can't fucking pay attention to it. Unfortunately, Tito Ortiz was a legit fighter, great champ, but he just can't talk. He has managed and basically moved Cyborg into what I think is like the ridiculous fucking zone. Like, there's nothing Cyborg says anymore that I can take seriously. There's nothing Tito Ortiz says anymore that I can take seriously. And it's fucking sad. I like Cyborg. I like watching Cyborg just smash chicks. I want to see Cyborg against Ronda Rousey at 135.
What's the Brazilian chick's name? Fucking huge out of her mind. Now she's all slim.
Gabby Garcia?
There you go. Right there is your answer.
There you go.
If that bitch can slim down like that, Cyborg can make 35. It's enough with all this goofy talk. Get with Mike Dolce, make 35, come to the UFC, do your thing, let's fight, let's do it. Like Anthony Johnson made welterweight. Yeah. My nuts, she can't make 35. It's stupid. She has to make the weight or she doesn't, whatever. Fuck her.
Yeah. My other theory, too, is that she doesn't really want to fight Ronda. That's why she don't make 135. She's just fucking talking to be relevant. I mean, that's just my theory, but I don't know.
Yeah, because 5 pounds, she's like, well, let's meet at 40. Come on, bruh. If you can make it to 40, dog, you can get to 35 and make this fucking fight happen where the belt exists at. Take Ronda out of the equation. The UFC is bigger than everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's these belts that matter. That's not Ronda's belt. Not really. Not really, it's not. It's the UFC's fucking women's bantamweight championship.
Yep.
If you want that belt, you fight Ronda for that belt, but you fight her at 135 pounds. That's where that belt exists. It's not Ronda's belt. It's the UFC's fucking bantamweight championship. You got to come to 35, bitch.
And by the way, saying we need to do this fight for the fans. Newsflash: UFC doesn't give 2 shits about the fans. All right, it just likes the fans' money. It likes to fucking sell you bullshit fights, as main events, and then you watch it, you paid your fucking $60. And I'm not saying the Ronda fight, that was a great fight. There's been other fights that's been complete dog shit as main events, but the UFC doesn't give a fuck about the fans. So let's just stop with the whole let's do this for the fans because no one gives a fuck. All right. Now moving on here. Oh shit, we got him back.
There we go.
Can you hear us
now?
Yeah, for a second or two, I'm sure.
There we go.
All right, let's move on quickly before airplane mode comes back. Now, Aaron, have you heard about the whole Jose Aldo situation with the drug test? Fuck, that did not last long whatsoever.
Yeah, that fucking happened quick, didn't it?
Okay, anybody at HP figure this shit out and contact Aaron as soon as possible. Okay, it's some horse shit. It's a brand new computer, and you're fucking him up with your airplane mode, goddammit. Why the fuck does a laptop have airplane mode anyway? Yeah, seriously, why is there an airplane mode? You want to know what you do in an airplane with a fucking laptop? One, that bitch is off. You take off, right? Two, you're at 30,000 feet. If your airplane happens to have Wi-Fi, you connect to that bitch. You know what happened? You know when you can't do that? On airplane mode, motherfucker. Okay, and three, turn it back off when you goddamn land. What the fuck, HP? Okay, I'm done. Anyway.
There we go.
Moving on. You want to talk about Corey, Shaw, and Kennedy?
Yeah, exactly. That's you know what, especially fucking Nate Corey. I'd like to send a special fuck you to Nate Corey since he got so butthurt and blocked me on Twitter because I'm getting sick and tired of seeing him complain. It's like the dude's life exists around bitching about the UFC, which I know is a very popular thing to do right now. The Reebok deal sucks. Tim Kennedy sent out his fucking honorary tweet bitching about it. We know, Tim. We know. You'd rather cut grass than fight for that kind of money, which have fun doing that. But, you know, I don't know, man. And then Brendan Schwab came out and he was bitching about the MMA media twisting his words around. Fucking, you know, I watched this shit. He said that fucking he didn't want to be a yes man, and Rhonda's used to having yes men around her, so shit didn't work out. I still love her though, but that's what you said though, motherfucker. Like, so, I don't know, man. It seems like certain people do nothing but cry all the time. What the fuck? Tim Kennedy, Nate the Rock Corey, and Brendan Schwab always seem like they're bitching about something. So, you know, I just like to spin a special haters issue out to them. Just stop hating so goddamn much. Just do your fucking job, man.
Yeah, no, I get Shaw and I get Tim Kennedy. They're in the UFC, right? They're in it. They're affected by the whole Reebok deal. Nate Corey, not so much. To me, it just sounds like jealousy that he's not in the UFC. Because I bet if he was in the UFC, he might shut the fuck up, right?
Yeah, you would think, man. I mean, I guess that's the problem with Nate Corey. I seen that he tweeted out something the other day, man. And it's like every time I see this dude, he is tweeting about the big, bad, mean UFC. Yeah, man, we get it. The UFC sucks, and you're going to change everything. And I think his direct tweet back at me was, yeah, we'll sit back and be a doormat while we change the world. Yeah, have fun changing the world, Nate Corey. I'm a fucking hippie, and I don't even buy into that horse shit. You ain't changing fucking fuck all, dude. You and your fucking band of shitbird brothers that are basically fucking ex-rejects from the UFC that only start talking shit once they start losing fights and their paychecks go down. It ain't saying much, man. You need legit people to stand up. Me and Aaron was talking about this earlier. Who's the most legit person who's really came out against the UFC? Sure, people have said things here and there, but who's like the most legit person that's came out and really took a major stand against the UFC?
Shit. Chris Weidman? No.
No. He didn't go nowhere. I'm talking about like left the company, did some serious shit. Randy Couture.
Oh, that's right, Randy, yeah.
Right? Randy left the company. Fucking Randy is not known as a great businessman. He's not some fucking, he's not really all Captain America. There's no great fucking champion or people that side with these cats, man. It's always like a bunch of bitter old ex-wives. And I'm not saying the UFC's perfect. I'm just saying that all these people, that the moment they start falling down on their luck, and all of a sudden people ain't tuning into their fights like that no more because they're losing or they're boring or whatever the fuck, all of a sudden they got a problem with fighter pay and everything else. And, it's bitter ex-wives shit, man. It's just kind of fucking annoying. So, yeah, fuck those dudes.
Yeah, I'm with you on a lot of that too, and it's just I get the complaining and everything, but the only way to hit the UFC and make them change anything is to hit them in the wallet, and until you do that, nothing's gonna change. So you could do with your little lawsuit shit that they're. Is that lawsuit still going on, by the way?
With who? With the UFC?
Yeah, the fighter lawsuit.
Oh man,
Kung Lee and all those guys. That's still going. I think it's still going on, right?
Kung Lee, he's another one, right? Just right on the shitbird bandwagon. The UFC was so mean to me when I was there. Yet 3 months ago, I was promoting the fuck out of them. You're a shitbird, and you was juicing too. I don't give a fuck what lights and mirrors they use in Thailand or Bangkok, wherever the fuck you was when you took that picture. No, man, I don't know. Maybe that shit's still going on, but I'll bet you it don't come through in the end.
Probably not.
I'm sure people will say it's because the UFC's fucking big. Because of what, man? What are they saying? The UFC's a monopoly? Does anybody not know that Bellator exists? I mean, it's a distant number 2, but it's surely a fucking viable alternative. God damn, I'm not no lawyer, but the Bellator clearly makes this not a goddamn monopoly, right? Fuck, even Scott Coker says that shit so as not to look like an asshole. Like, of course they're not a monopoly. We do fucking exist. We are actually doing business over here. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's all kinds of fucked up. Now, real quick before we move on to the last segment here, Josh Thompson signing with the UFC today, with the UFC with the Bellator today. Good signing for them, and it's honestly it's a good spot for him in his career, right?
Yeah, man, exactly. Kind of tying right from the last point that we was just making, man. There are viable alternatives out there. Is Bellator always more than likely going to be a plan B unless this Reebok thing really goes awry? Yeah, they're never going to have as many great fighters or top 10 fighters of the UFC. There's just too much ground to make up. They'll never be Pride-esque. But Josh Thompson, somebody like that, a scrappy veteran to test people and to have fun fights with, he's exactly the type of guy that I would expect to see Bellator gobble up. You know, as much as I love the WSOF, it seems like they're on a destructive path here. They got fucking brawls breaking out in the crowd. You know, Paul Harris is probably the fucking best fighter they have in their organization. Now they're going to have to strip that cute cocksucker and give him the boot. They'll probably fold in here soon. Bellator and the UFC will grab the scraps. Bellator makes a fun alternative. Scott Coker gets that. Unlike fucking whoever the fuck it was earlier that needed to know their role, I think Scott Coker does know his fucking role. I don't think he thinks he's going to be bigger than the UFC. I think he just wants to have fun fights and acquire some decent fighters along the line, man. So I think it's cool, dog. I think Josh Thompson will fit in perfectly there, and that's the type of guys they should get, man. You know what I mean? Cats that they can make fun fights with. So
you know, another guy that just signed with Bellator, and Andrew Reed brought this point up, and actually was thinking about bringing this up. Koshik's bitching about the UFC now too. He signed with Bellator, and he was bitching about the UFC when just about a month ago he was like all praising UFC, and I'm so happy that I'm still here and they treat me so good.
You see, I'll give Tim Kennedy this. At least the cocksucker's got the balls to shit on him while he's still under contract. Because Josh Koscheck, just another one, is a prime example of it was all good and dandy when I was there. I lose my fights. Shit don't go right. I get cut. And now I got a big belly aching problem. You know, I don't know, man. Like cats like Arlovsky. Even though that happened a long time ago, shit didn't go right. Business is business. Arlovsky went off and did his things. Had some ups, had some downs. He didn't talk no shit. He kept that door open. Even DW was always like, you know, hey, didn't work out. We wanted Arlovsky, but we didn't get him. He left. And guess what? He strung together a couple wins over a few shitbirds and got right in the back door again. Like, you know, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, just because it didn't go right, don't be such a fucking pussy, man. Don't be such a, I don't know. Koscheck didn't get treated like no redhead stepchild. You know what I'm saying, man? They promoted the fuck out of that dude for a long time. I'm sure that dude made a lot of money with the UFC, man.
Hey, what's up, Aaron?
Yeah, what Fred said.
He's back.
All right, and last point here. Let's say Paul Harris is suspended because he's been stripped. He's suspended. I don't think he's been released yet. Has he?
Aaron, you know anything about Paul Harris being released or WSOF potentially being fucked because the best fighter in their organization is probably going to have to get stripped and shit canned now?
No, I think that it still has to go to the commission, doesn't it? That's where they're gonna make their big decision is what the commission does with him.
That's true.
Right now, as far as I understand, they didn't pay him his win bonus. They stripped him of his title, and he is indefinitely suspended by World Series of Fighting, which I'm sure if he's indefinitely
God damn.
Ooh.
Another picture we should have screen capped. Anyway, all right. Here's the thing, Fred. If Paul Harris is let's say just today, World Series of Fighting cuts him. Let's say it's a year from now. Let's say he's only suspended that long.
Oh.
If you're Bellator, there he is. Aaron, let's say they cut Paul Harris, right? And he's suspended a year, serves his time. If you're Bellator, you sign him, right?
No.
Even though he's got all that fucking controversy around him, he get a lot of eyeballs on the screen. Oh, God damn it. That's a perfect picture. That's
a real good one.
That's a great one. So he says no to Bellator. If you're Bellator, would you do it?
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no. Aaron's right. I don't think they would. Listen, I don't think anybody's going to want to fucking touch Paul Harris with a 10-foot pole after all this is said and done, man. He gets booted out of the UFC, and then he gets booted out of the WCW for the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I just think everybody, even Bellator, is probably going to be like, geesh, goddamn, dog. As much as they might want to, I don't think nobody's going to want to. I would love them to. I would. I like the guy, man. I like seeing him fight. It's a shame that we're not going to get to see the dude fucking compete, man. You know,
Yeah.
he's got. Let's see, what's he got? He's got the 2 losses, Hendo and Belcher.
Yep.
And both of those came at 85, right?
Yep.
So technically at 70, the dude's undefeated. You know, he's short. I think he's good for that weight class. And it sucks that a couple of these little stupid things like holding the subs too long. I guess they're not stupid, the eye gouges, but you know what I mean. Like just like kind of goofy technicalities. The guy's a very good fighter, so it's a shitty thing.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, look, it just sucks to see that the powers gets like that. But moving on here to the very last thing. The UFC 189 drug test came back clean, but there was a weird story with Jose Aldo's drug test. I'm going to try and make this as short as possible. The Nevada State Athletic Commission hired a rep from a company called Drug Free Sports to go to Brazil and test Aldo. The guy they sent had his visa, had paperwork. His name was Ben Mosier. He had the visa saying that he's gonna collect the drug test from Aldo. They actually hired a local drug collections officer to help him out. So anyway. He gets Mosier gets to Brazil, and he's looking for Aldo. Couldn't get him. I think for like a day or two, him nor Aldo's head coach could find Aldo or get him to go to the gym. Finally, Aldo shows up the next day to give the sample, and he does give the sample, but an off-duty cop who trains at the gym interfered, and this is where it gets super weird. He stopped the process. The off-duty cop stopped the process until the Brazilian MMA Athletic Commission arrived, right? And because they lost control of Aldo's sample, they had to throw it out because, Mosier wasn't allowed to keep, hold on to it. Anyway, then the off-duty cop detains Mosier until immigration officials arrive, look over his paperwork and his visa, decide that, okay, he's cleared to resume doing his job, but not until the next day. Finally, the next day, Aldo gives a sample, and he spills it himself. Aldo spills the first sample. Then he gets another sample about 30 minutes later, and that sample was not actually controlled by Mosier, the guy that Nevada sent, but it was actually controlled, packaged, and sent to the U.S. by the Brazilian Athletic Commission. So, and on top of that, the Brazilian collector, one of the officials that they sent to collect the sample, he brought a magazine and had Aldo autograph it for him. It's incredibly weird. First of all, just hearing that, what do you think about the entire situation?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's all like super conspiracy theorist kind of. I don't know. I don't know what any of that means. You know what I mean? It could mean a bunch of weird shit. It could mean that Jose's paying a bunch of people off and that he's taking steroids and that he's doing all kinds of gnarly fucking gay-ass illegal shit. Or it could all just be a big miscommunication and some of that be right and some of it be miscommunication and some of it be whatever. Listen, here's what I do. If I'm Dana White and I hear that, right? Some of it you can prove, some of it you can't. Some of it's hearsay. Some of it's the man in the boat that's seen a little dude, whoever. You know what I mean? Like, some of it's just rumor and fucking insinuations. Here's what I do. This is a huge fight. Jose Aldo has pulled out of several fights throughout the years. This is the big one. Conor McGregor's the interim champion now. We set the date for it. I think like December or whatever it is.
December 12th, yeah.
There you go. Okay. December 12th. We give both Conor and Jose Olympic-style drug testing. We go ham on them all the way to the 12th. Jose has to fight. If he pulls out of this fight for any reason, whether he hurts himself, drops the piss test himself, whatever he does, we strip him of the belt, and he's no longer the champion. He has to fight December 12th, and they both have to undergo, not even necessarily super strict, but just, what's the word I'm looking for? Motherfucking surprise drug test, motherfucker. Like, randoms.
There you go.
Randoms leading up to and then after the fight, the whole lot of it. It's a big belt, lots of prestige, huge fight. They can spend the extra money on testing the fuck out of these guys. There's no sense in fucking making a bunch of insinuations about what might or might not be true with this shit. Let's just say that moving forward, they both need to be tested because this is a huge fucking fight. And if Jose pulls out with another fucking weird injury this time, the benefit of the doubt has already been given to him. He's getting fucking stripped of his belt. He has to make this fucking date.
Yeah, no, I completely with you on that one. Now this is where the Brazilian Athletic Commission gets a little cunty. I'm gonna read you their statement real quick. CABMMA has no intention of detailing the whole incident as drug-free sport try to do so in its statement, as we feel that their image and credibility can be severely compromised if all facts were exposed. Our entity does not agree with such unprofessionalism, and the sport will not benefit from these comments. Regarding the visa and immigration problem Mr. Ben Mosier had, we suggest that the drug-free sport immediately contact federal police in Brazil because CBMMA doesn't have any jurisdiction on that. Moving on. As of the process itself, we were contacted by Mr. Chris Quinty from Drug Free Sport and Bob Bennett from the Nevada Athletic Commission on Thursday morning, and they both asked me personally by phone for the Brazilian Athletic Commission to promptly collect the athletes' anti-doping tests. Now, the CABMMA, which is the Brazilian Commission, understands that based on the circumstances, the process was done in the best and most appropriate way possible, and believes that his conduct was ethical, safe, and respectful to all parties involved. Finally, it is important to state that CABMMA is working along and committed to USADA and ABCD, WADA-accredited agencies to avoid incidents as these and guarantee golden standards for in and out of competition collection processes and implementing in Brazil a structured and secure anti-doping policy for the sport of MMA. Which to me all sounds like blah, 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 bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And they try to shit on drug-free sport at the very beginning of that statement. First of all, I don't know how much credibility you can give the Brazilian Athletic Commission, but that right there, I think for me, killed a lot of it.
Well, there you go. There you go. I mean, I don't think that anybody's given the Brazilian fucking Athletic State Commission fucking all that much fucking credibility from the jump street. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean, man. I don't think that any of this is all that fucking extremely surprising. I don't want to insinuate whether it's some big, great fucking conspiracy that Jose's on fucking steroids and nothing like that. Just test the shit out of him leading up to this big fucking fight. You know what I mean? Make it to where he can't run and hide under the gym. He can't slide out the back door, which that still sounds absurd to me. Then they ran out the back door. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, but you know, just test the shit out of him. It's a big fucking fight. There's no sense in making fucking a bunch of insinuations. There's nothing we can do about it one way or the other. So just leading up to this fight, make sure he fights and make sure they're both fucking tested strenuously. What big fight's coming up next, man? What's the next big event?
Actually, we got nothing this weekend. Bellator's not this weekend. If there's an RFA, I couldn't find it. World Series fighting is not this weekend. We might have an MMA free weekend for the first time in a long time.
All right, we'll skip that fucking week. What's next? The Mighty Mouse John Dodson thing or whatever?
Nope, it's actually Holloway against Oliveira.
Okay. Well, just quickly right before we go here, just that fight. Who do you like in that fight?
I'm a big Holloway fan. I think I'm gonna go Holloway. That dude, the kid's just freaking growing right in front of our eyes, dude. And the way that he's been fighting recently, Oliveira's not a pushover, not at all. This is a decent main event. This is a good fight for Holloway and for Oliveira. For sure. But I got Holloway, dude. Who do you got?
Well, let me sum it up real quickly for you. Max Holloway went 3 rounds with the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fuck with Max Holloway. Now, listen, Holloway's going to win this fight. I think Oliveira can win the fight if he gets into some slick grappling exchanges. But I think Max Holloway's pretty smart and technical. I think he'll fucking stay on the outside and technically outstrike Oliveira. Oliveira's a dangerous striker, but he's loose with that shit. And he's sloppy. And I think that Max Holloway is actually very technical. Cub Swanson is a dope boxer. Technically speaking, he's sound. And Max Holloway fucking literally broke his jaw.
Yep, lit his ass up.
Yeah, Max Holloway is a really good technical striker, man. So I think as long as he can keep Oliveira off of him and not get into those grappling exchanges, it's Max Holloway's fight to lose.
That's what I got on that too. All right, looks like Aaron couldn't come back. Apparently, it was an antivirus program problem because those computers come with the fucking antivirus already installed and on. And they don't tell you to turn that bitch off. So, yeah, he'll figure it out for the next one. But that's going to do it for tonight's show. You guys' last episode, is that the Henzo one?
Yeah, that was the Henzo episode. We actually didn't do one this week. Mm-hmm. You know, Dr. Feelgood has opened up a new clinic just to let all you fucks in on some personal shit. Mm-hmm. He's been a little busy. We've been fucking behind on shit. So we're probably just going to take this week off. We're going to relax. And then we've got a couple big guests on the line for next week that we're hopefully going to be able to book, and next week's show will be worth the wait.
All right. If you haven't heard the Henzo episode, download that shit. That was baller, dude, for real. That was a great one. I just love Henzo's. They're just playing. They're just, they're just hanging out. When they talk about the Nate Diaz fight or brawl, he was like, they're just playing.
Yeah, no, listen, man, Henzo was a great fucking guest. As cool as I thought that dude was going to be, he was actually that cool, man. And you know what I like about Henzo, man? At one point, I kind of asked him about the whole Brazilian things. Anderson's always been very outspoken in saying that he don't like fighting Brazilians. And you know how it is. When you go to Brazilian and you fight a Brazilian, when you go to Brazil and you fight a Brazilian, the Brazilians cheer. There's a lot of home pride there. Mm-hmm. And I asked Henzo on the show, I said, listen, man, with RDA and now Fabricio Verdum and fucking Jose Aldo, Brazil's got some champions again. Does that make you kind of proud? And his answer was kind of surprising. He was kind of like, he doesn't look at that kind of shit. Like he doesn't look at nationality or race, I think he said that his grandfather told him a great fucking, great Henzo Gracie line. Like, my grandfather once told me, see no race or color or creed, or, I look at Chris Weidman, he's the All-American. I see a Brazilian, man. He's like a fucking dope-ass Brazilian hippie. It was awesome, man. Like, it was really cool. And then he told a fucking dope-ass story about some fans in Russia that really kind of brought his whole Gracie family legacy full circle and shit. That was really cool. Henzo Gracie's the fucking man. It was a great episode.
Seriously, I enjoyed listening to it. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Thanks for checking us out tonight. You can follow Aaron Robbins at Stand and Bang Radio. Kirby is at Kirby_MMA. You can follow the page at CrossBonesMMA. Also, the show is at Keyboard MMA. And I am at Elaw31. I guess a little fun fact for the internet. You might enjoy this one. I actually read that they found cannabis in one of William Shakespeare's pipes. And so now they're thinking he wasn't just smoking tobacco. He might have been smoking the Mary J.
Of course he was. Of course he was. That makes perfect sense. There you go, William. That's a perfect note to end the show on. Andrew Reed. There you go, my good friend.
There you go. So there you go. Yeah, exactly. There you go, y'all. Y'all learned something. So anyway, thanks for watching, and everybody have a good night.
Later, guys.